Hey Gemini, welcome back to Alchemist Tarot, serving tarot straight up. So this is your January monthly reading and I'm so excited for you, and a couple things that I want to talk about before I start talking about the cards. Number one, the energy that we're going to probably feel from January to March, even April, probably is going to be very similar to 2020. I'm not going to BS you, but what I will tell you is kind of like that mid to late spring, summer. I do think the energy is going to be a lot lighter. So you know what? 2021 numerology is 5 years, so lots of change. This is going to be kind of more of a lot of adjustments, shifting around, so just kind of prepare yourself for that, okay? So I already shuffled the cards offline, but I'm going to pull cards out. So I'll pull for actions, advice, possible obstacles, a card for money, love, career, and communications that we need to be aware of, and then a card for each of the weeks. Yeah, so 1 through 4. All right, so let's see what's going on here for actions, advice, okay? We got Mother of Wands, excuse me. And this is the Queen of Wands. So this is all about being confident in yourself, Gemini. This is about taking the initiative. This is about knowing that you can, 2 + 2 is 4, and that you can just rub 2 nickels together and make 15 cents. This is about having confidence in your skill set this month, Gemini. And this is needing to understand that it all comes from self. So if you start to, if you start to spiral down into any type of negative thinking or things that have happened in the past, it's really going to take you down and you'll get stuck in your head. So Gemini, what I recommend is that positive thinking all the way. Really think about, things that make you happy, that you're passionate about, that get you excited. Those are the things that we want to focus on this month, okay? And also, and anytime I see this particular illustration with the Queen of Wands, it's all about not trying to be too guarded. What I will tell you, things that you're working on and that you want to change and better yourself, you don't need to, you don't need to say through a megaphone. You don't need to tell everybody, but I don't want you to be too guarded this month either, okay? So what's going on for, pick this card up, for any obstacles. Okay, we got 8 of Pentacles, love, love, love. This is not so much really an obstacle card per se, but what I will tell you is that the 8 of Pentacles is all about taking a step back and doing things right. So this is really focusing on and working very hard toward things that you are interested in. For instance, for some of you, it could be the home, hearth. It could be the investments in finances that you're really trying to get a better handle on or ground yourself around, or maybe learn, how to invest better, or what are some trends that we need to be focused on. Maybe you are trying to line up your assets so that so you have more liquidity for the future, that you want to buy, property or whatever the case is. But this is all about kind of the student-teacher relationship. And for some of you, you absolutely could be looking at taking courses or getting certificates or educating yourself more so that you're really more in tune and more knowledgeable on how to financially set yourself up for success. For some of you, this is absolutely going back to school, or you're taking courses to reskill yourself. All really important stuff this month. So I'm going to tell you is the 8 of Pentacles is not so much an obstacle, but I would tell you that, we all have to start somewhere. So don't get frustrated and just keep progressing forward. That's the important part that we need to take away. Okay, Gemini? So let's see what's going on for your career. Okay. Awesome. We got, every time I pull the card, I have a habit of pulling the card and putting it down and then not being able to pick it up. We have the Queen of Pentacles in this deck. It's the Mother of Pentacles. So for work and career, I would tell you that this is all about, this is for money. I would say to put investments and focus on things that you actually have a lot of potential to grow. The Queen of Pentacles is all about making really smart choices financially, knowing how to make your money work for you. I'm going to tell you that, obviously no one knows what the economy is going to do and what's going to happen on the greater world scale. There's a lot of volatility that could happen, certainly, but this is about trying to create the most stability around your money, having a nest egg, saving a little bit more, but like I said, this is also about seeing ahead and how you can create more wealth in your life and for the longer term. Again, this is not the month to really necessarily buy things out of because it's on sale, or, you know, I just need to have it, or, you know, just be really careful about making purchases that are kind of based on emotion or reaction, not so much that like, how is this a need or a want? Is this really going to add benefit? Is it something that can help me, you know, if it's to invest in yourself, great. But if it's just on material things, I'd be a little conscientious of that, okay? So what's going on in your love life? Okay, so we got the Devil card. Now, so love and relationships, let's just take it a step further. Capricorn rules the Devil card. So certainly for this month, you know, this is kind of maybe weighing heavily on your mind. If you are in, whether you're single or in a relationship, doesn't really matter. A lot of you are reevaluating those that you hold, that hold a space in your heart or hold dear. And it doesn't always have to be romantic, but things, people especially, but relationships that you feel chained to or that you feel obligated. There's obligations that sometimes you're just like, I don't know why I'm still having to deal with this, or, you know, why are we having to go to this, you know, I don't know, like holiday stuff. You know, I think a lot of you kind of like reevaluated things like, why are we putting ourselves through stressful situations when we don't have to? A lot of you are reevaluating your relationships in your life and determining if they're meant to continue on or if you need to cut them loose. And I know that sounds very harsh, but as you start to grow as a person and as you start to evolve, what happens is that not everyone in your life is going to come with you to that next journey, that next chapter in your life. And that's okay. Everyone's on their different timelines and we wish people well, but sometimes we just outgrow relationships and that's okay. That's how we evolve. But for many of you, you're really evaluating who's in your life and if they're meant to take up real estate anymore. Also, one thing I want to tell you for singles out there, if you start to date someone or you start to get back in the dating pool, I'm going to tell you that a lot of these relationships are just going to be very much fly by the night, you know, kind of. I don't even think that that's a saying. It's actually not. It's more of, you're only going to be interested in one element, mainly intimacy, the physical part of it, and that's probably it. That's all it's going to be. So I just be careful of putting emotion into relationships this month if you're single, because they're probably just going to be very one-sided, okay, or just on the physical level. All right. Let's see. Oh my goodness, let me pick up this card. Oh, there we go. Ace of Pentacles for career. Fabulous. New beginning in career for a lot of you. If you're looking, this could be an absolutely new job, new start. For some of you, could be a new promotion. Absolutely. Could be money that's coming in at some point. Now, remember, one thing about Ace of Pentacles, it is a beginning card. So there is work to do, and with this energy you have to take it and run with it, so there has to be action. But Pentacle energy is something that you can touch, feel, and see. So in your career, there's certainly could be, like I said, for some of you you're getting promoted to a bigger office, or for some of you you're getting a higher title or more pay, but for some of you you're actually getting a job that you've been really coveted and long waiting for. You know, a lot of people who are out of work right now, they need this type of energy. So Gemini, awesome. And if you're starting something new, keep at it, stick with it. You know what I mean? Because ultimately, it's going to take a little bit to get yourself where you need to be. So don't get too frustrated that you're not an expert in something or you're not knowledgeable or all knowing. It takes a little while, especially if you're starting a new job. Okay. Communications, you guys got 5 of Swords. Now, one thing I'm going to tell you is that this month, it could be a little, people could be still very stressed. And I don't just mean based on holiday stuff, like, but I do feel like just overall, I think people are getting really tired of, you know, pandemic and, you know, having to wear a mask. And I get it. We have to do it. And I totally understand. But some people, it's kind of like they're at the end of the rope. And they just want things normal. And I'm going to tell you, just because it strikes midnight on you know, Jan 1, it does not mean that things are just going to reset and it's going to be perfect and back to quote unquote normal. We're not ever going back to normal. So what I'm going to tell you is that if you feel frustrated, if you feel like there's just a lot of tension or stress around, be very careful, Gemini, because you might lash out. And this is also about unnecessary, you know, disagreements or arguments or just petty bickeringness that doesn't need to happen, whether it's in the workplace, whether it's at home, whether it's with siblings or loved ones. Honestly, really pick and choose your battles this month, because words that you say can be really sharp, Gemini, and you might not be able to take them back. So just be really careful with your words this month. All right, let's go into the first week. Okay, we got Six of Swords. Excellent energy. I think for a lot of you, it's, even just kind of the mental aspect of that we're, in a new year, I think helps people. It's like a fresh start. It just kind of mentally gets you in that, mindset that, look, we have 12 months to do some new stuff, work on ourselves, change bad habits, have a different outlook, different perspectives on life, all good stuff. So what I'm going to tell you is that if you have been going through some pretty challenging times, I think that the worst is over and you're going to be into calmer waters. Six of Swords also is can be the travel card. And for a lot of you, for some of you too, if you've had international travel that's been canceled or postponed or delayed, you might be able to figure out when or book a new flight or update your travel arrangements. That certainly could be the case. Some of you might be traveling at some point in the future or setting up a trip to travel, and it could be long distance overseas. Absolutely. Okay, so if you are, just be careful, obviously. Okay. So we got second week, we got Four of Cups. Gemini, I think one of the things that we have to be careful of, and air signs are very guilty of this, is we get, and I'm saying we because I'm an Aquarius, we get really excited and then all of a sudden, like, sometimes the luster wears off, just as soon as we get excited about something. So Gemini, you're known for fluttering around and, kind of dispersing your energy and your focus all over the place. What I'm going to tell you is that if you continue to do that, you're and not work and focus on one thing. So let's say it's yourself. Let's say that you're, first week or two, you're really excited, or, you're like, yes, I'm going to start a new diet plan and I'm going to start walking more and I'm going to start taking 10,000 steps every single day, no matter what, no excuses. And then like you miss a day and then you're really getting down on yourself, or there's like disappointment and like you kind of like, well, if I take another day, it's not going to kill me. Well, yeah, you're right. It won't, but it's a slippery slope. So Gemini, really start to prioritize your thoughts and like things that really mean a lot to you, and really put effort into those things. Don't focus on 100 different things and try to spin 100 plates in the air and try to do all those well. Do one or two things really well and kind of check it off your list, you know what I mean? And when you mentally kind of overcome and you like meet that goal, go to the next thing. Take it as a checklist and not try to do everything at once, because you'll get disappointed quickly if you try to do too much at once, okay? Third week. All right, we got Seven of Wands for the third week. So Gemini, you definitely might have to kind of stand up for yourself a little bit more, by the mid to late end of the month. Maybe there are some things that you're trying to work on or focus on, or your attention is going somewhere, you're putting a lot of effort into something and just people don't get it. It could certainly be that, it's, Spirit keeps saying that you're kind of focusing more on yourself this month, like being a little bit more quote unquote selfish, but really it's not. And people are kind of like miffed about it, and maybe because they haven't seen you or heard from you. So what I'm going to tell you is that you might not have to kind of stand your ground and explain, hey, I want to do this and this means a lot to me. And if you're not in the same boat, if you can't support me, then maybe that this isn't going to work out. But I do feel you're kind of putting a line in the sand, Gemini. I said Gem as if it's like your first name. Gems. All right, last week, you came out your own reading with the Lover's card. Gemini, fabulous. So the end of the month, and one thing I do want to point out, and I forgot to mention earlier, is that, so we are going to be in full retrograde in February, okay? Mercury retrograde is going to be pretty much the bulk of February, but it starts in January as well. I think by the end of the month, we actually start into retrograde in January 30th, I think. It could be off. But that means that in the middle of the month, that Mercury is going to start to phase into its shadow period. So just FYI, you kind of need to be careful about communication. Could be off. There could be, technology, things that, you just have to be kind of conscientious of. What I'm saying is, for some of you, you're going to have to make a pretty hard decision, and it's kind of cut and dry for you. By the end of the month, things are going to be pretty obvious that you need to, make this decision or or take another decision or take another route. For some of you, absolutely. If you're single, this could certainly mean that love's coming in. If you're taken, I would recommend that you bypass this. If somebody comes in and you're already taken and seeing someone, please be respectful for the other person. But one thing I will tell you is certainly love could be coming in, absolutely. But this is also, a project or, something deep down in your heart that you really are passionate about that is coming back into your life, or that you really want to fix or focus on. And you're really having to, again, determine on where you put your energy and your focus, because, if it's something that you love to do, then it doesn't feel like work, Gemini. So I do feel like by the end of the month, you're going to be making some pretty tough decisions. It could be in relationships. It could be where you're spending your time. It could be where you're focusing your energy, or all of the above. But take the time necessary to make that decision, because it may not be the easiest one, okay? Gemini, thank you so very much. And I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the month. Please follow me and subscribe here so you're the first to know about new videos. Also, make sure you subscribe to my Instagram and TikTok, because I post there often. And then all the information about, membership only content, readings, and merchandise is all in the description, so you're welcome to check it out. Thank you guys, and have a wonderful rest of the month.